Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Black Eel Podcast with your hosts, Scott and Mike. We have a jam packed episode today. We have three trailers to talk about excuse me, one movie, one show, question mark, and then the third is a video game. Then we're going to move on to talking about Gen V, or the latest episode of Gen V. We're going to then move on to the latest episode of Peacemaker, and then move on to the entire Marvel Zombies, and then ending with a character spotlight from Mike. So let's get right into this. Might as well start about Wolverine first, just to get that out of the way. So there are, I don't want to phrase this. All right, I was gonna say there were three characters introduced, but I'm hesitant to say that because it was um, Omega Red was for sure, Mystique was another,
Yep.
and then the reason why I said third was because although it's not a character by itself, we saw Sentinels.
Yeah, I was kind of counting them, but obviously,
No, but you get what I'm saying. Like, but it's like it's not really a character, but you understand. All right,
yeah, they're
I'm
they're
glad we're on
they're
the same
they're
page.
like a group, not an individual character. So like I,
That's
I
fine.
understand what you meant.
Um,
Yeah,
so I have thoughts. I have thoughts. Remember how we you talked to me about how Mystique might have been Wolverine the entire time?
yeah. There was some theories that like we would be going through a mission. People were thinking that we were Wolverine. What? Oh, there's a
Nope.
delay, isn't
Sorry.
there? um, but people were thinking that we were going to be playing as Wolverine, and that they'd pull a swerve, and we'd actually turn into Mystique, and Mystique was just going undercover for a certain mission, and that would be how Mystique would be introduced. Obviously, we'll have to see what happens when more come out.
Okay, so that makes more sense to me because I was gonna say that we definitely saw gameplay that was specifically Wolverine, because
Oh yeah,
Mystique can't like obviously Mystique can copy him completely and actually make the claws as well. The difference being, she wouldn't necessarily be able to slice through metal like Wolverine can for obvious reasons.
yeah, and I mean, depending on what scenario that's going on, obviously, she would play to her advantage, and she would be aware of that. So like she wouldn't be going through something. She would just. I feel like if that were to happen, it would just be her trying to sneak in somewhere, runs into some people, try to kill some people. Nothing that would, she wouldn't go after something that she couldn't handle and that she knew she couldn't handle. Um,
I
but
mean, I don't disagree with you. But no, it was cool to see Omega Red, who looks
he looked pretty cool.
very well. I was gonna say it's not just the cool factor. Like, he's intimidating.
No,
Like,
no,
they
no.
made
Sorry.
him
Yeah,
like you're not wrong. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you, but it's like it's a rarity to see like Omega Red being like a threat, because he really
yeah.
is, obviously.
No, he is, and I mean,
Oh, but
there's.
uh, the other thing I'm thinking is Silver Sable. It might also be involved in this as well.
They're talking about this is all together in the Insomniac universe. So the things that happen in Spider-Man can also take place in this. So there's a possibility that things come together and be connected. So Silver Sable could definitely make it some kind of appearance, especially since we've seen her in Spider-Man already.
Well, the reason why I'm saying I'm heavily thinking she is because of the enemies he was cutting down that were robotic, had that Silver Sable like outfit esque looking. And they're both Silver Sable and Omega Red are Russian,
Hmm. Okay, I mean that definitely makes
and
sense.
I'm assuming he's in Russia,
Hmm.
or at least a Russian base esque place.
Something that I definitely want to mention. Uh, they definitely did not hold back on the gore and how violent this game will appear to be. I was not expecting to see the amount of blood and ripping apart in this trailer, and I'm not
A
complaining
lot of
about it.
limbs, a lot of limbs, a lot of limbs, a lot of limbs.
That's for
Weirdly
sure.
enough, a lot of limbs. Not a lot of decapitation. I'm kind of surprised by. Just surprised.
It was the
Um,
first trailer.
but interesting. No, no, no. It also looks like it's going to be like specific takedowns too, which will be kind of cool. Um, it's got that Spider-Man-esque vibe of fighting style and everything else. Obviously, the difference between wall climbing is going to be he's using his claws to climb up the buildings and stuff like that, which, to be
Hmm.
fair, is very much Wolverine. He's obviously got his leaps and everything else. I think that's pretty much going to be it. I mean, obviously, I'm curious about the healing factor and like his health bar. If I mean, obviously, there has to be one. So I'm very curious on how that's going to work. But that's a game mechanic that we'll obviously learn much later
Absolutely.
on. You want to move on to Visions? I had to think about it for a second. Sorry.
Am I here?
Do you want to start? Do you want to talk about Visions?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it's just like I believe every season has been 9 episodes, correct?
Yes. So far.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, this one's supposed to be 9 episodes as well. Um, I mean, it's a bunch of different animation styles. It's a bunch of different stories. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I was looking forward to it to begin with. I'm curious to see um, the stories that are continuing and what we're going to learn from them.
We saw obviously some of the characters that we had talked about getting a second episode from season one, and I think some of them from season two. So we saw some of the characters already. We saw a brand new lightsaber, which was insane. Like that, I cannot wait to see that in more action. That's gonna look just. Uh, I'm excited. Um, like you said, curious about the stories that they're gonna tell. Um, it hasn't been a disappointment, and obviously after rewatching season one and season two, we came to the agreement that season one was slightly better, but season two definitely was not bad, and I'm very much looking to what season three is going to be. Um, Curious if we're going to get what else they're going to show for it because it's still a little bit of ways, but we still got a few weeks before it comes out.
Is it the end of October?
I believe it's the yeah October 29th.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Um. All right. I mean, I'm excited about it. I mean, we really don't know what we're expecting, to be fair, but we never do with Visions, so that's not a bad thing. Um. The only difference this time, I believe, is the th- we won't. I think it's just going to be like just 9 different stories, no geographical necessarily differences. Like they're not going to make sure like each one is from a different country or continent. You know what I'm saying? At least right this very second.
We don't know.
I said, like I said, we don't know. You're right, but I'm just saying
Yeah,
right now we don't know because like
yeah.
that was the big pull for season two. They mentioned that they had every episode was made by a different by an animation studio from a different country. Obviously, I'm thinking that that's obviously not the case because they're not promoting that. So my guess is, although there will be diversity for sure, I don't think it will be every episode will be a completely different country, but it will be definitely, I believe, a different. Give me a minute. A different company, just in general.
Okay, because I was going to say they definitely talked about there being 9 different studios making each episode. So, uh,
Yeah, no, no, what I meant was, but it like the second season was like
yeah,
specifically each one was from a different country. Like they made
yeah,
that in the promos and everything else.
yeah. I
I mean, like
understand
I
what
said,
you were
looking
saying
forward to it.
after. Yeah,
Yeah. All
doesn't
right.
necessarily mean it was each country, but at least it's
No,
going
no,
to be
you're absolutely
different
right.
animation.
Every episode is going to be done by a different animator or animation studio. Um, but let us move on to the Mandalorian and Grogu.
One thing that I want to mention before, I don't know what your thoughts were, but there were
About this trailer or about Visions.
about this trailer. Sorry, about Mandalorian and Grogu.
Uh,
Um,
I had an issue.
well, I'm curious what your issue is, but there were people were commenting that the way that the trailer looked, it looked like it should have been a TV show instead of a movie. They were saying the quality just wasn't there. And when I was watching it, I didn't really see that. And I'm just curious with the little
I
bit that
disagree.
we saw. I don't understand how people could be sitting there saying like, "Oh, this is why that this is
No,
that
this
you know."
was this was definitely a movie trailer. Like I felt movie trailer for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't like I think what a well, yes, people were actually saying like, no, this just feels like it should be a TV, not a movie, which is again going even more further. It's like how can you even see that off of what they showed? Um, but like just the quality of how it looks. Because you can because TV shows and movies have different qualities in production. Like a TV show, they don't invest as much money in it because there's not as much money in return, so they don't the quality isn't as sharp. And people were saying
I mean,
that
obviously it also just depends on the show too.
also, yes, also true, but it's I was just
Technically,
so
you're correct. Technically,
curious.
you're correct.
Yeah, but I was just so curious. It's like, how can you tell that in the minute trailer that we saw that it's like, oh, the quality should be TV show versus movie, and even like the snippets, it's like, oh, this seems like it's 2 or 3 episodes just glued together, put into a movie. I'm like, they didn't show that much. Why are you? How can you say this? You know?
No, I don't disagree. I think for me, my only thing was like I don't. I know it's going to sound very weird to say because you'd be like, well, in every movie you don't know what's happening, and I get that. But I think for me is I don't know what this movie is supposed to like accomplish. Granted, because of the 3 seasons of The Mandalorian previous to this,
I mean, the thing with the
like
3 seasons is that each season kind of did something different. So there's really no way we can judge what is coming next. It's just their next
no, I
adventure.
know. I think that I know, and I think that's what's throwing me off. Where it's like, I think you know what really threw me off was just the fact of us seeing the AT-ATs. What are they
Yeah.
called?
Yep. AT-AT.
I was correct.
You were correct.
Um, never happen again. Um, just because of like the empire and everything else, like are we going to be seeing the clone situation, like what? I think for me it's like I have more questions than anything else. I'm going to watch it regardless. Let's be honest. I'm just more of like trying to figure out what they're going to do because right now it's feeling like us, and again, bear with me based on what we saw because this is only like you said a minute trailer. This feels more like a Star Wars movie with the Mandalorian and Grogu.
I mean, don't forget in the shows we've gotten the clone troopers. So clearly, they're still involved. This is just post Empire, so they're still kind of grasping at straws, and as we saw, they're like trying to rebuild themselves. So, you know, I'm assuming they did something that in someone either hired the Mandalorian or Din Djarin, I should say, or they did something to get on his bad side, and he's looking for revenge or information. Um, the Empire still has some kind of foothold, so they could still have some of their own old tech and weapons and resources. So I'm surprised that we saw it, and I am looking forward to it, the AT-ATs. But um, I mean, again, literally just repeating myself with this is just the first trailer. This is a minute and 30-second long trailer. Most of it was just like, oh, come the dates and whatever. So probably, like I said, a minute in total of actual footage that we saw. And we still have close to close to like 8 months before the movie comes out. So
Yeah,
there's
there's
still
a lot
more
we
that they
still
could
have.
show. This is
I would
just a
actually say
trailer
this
to
movie
show
looks
like, hey, this is here. This is what it looks like. Get hyped. So, I mean, I thought for me personally, it did just that. So, I am looking forward to it. Um, and hopefully it works out for them, you know?
no correct. I mean, we also got to see. She played Ridley in Alien, and I cannot think of what her actual actress name is. Segovia Weaver,
I will look it up. Um,
because she also was in the Defender Saga.
Yes,
Which
and
is
you are
the
right.
leader of the hand.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
sorry,
don't
Weaver.
I don't know if
That would
it
be the
the
Weaver. Yep.
I don't think the first name is correct with the way it's spelled, but you got the last name right at least. Weaver.
I
It
weirdly enough, I think I'm actually right with the first name, only because I don't think it's phonetically spelled correctly. If you understand what I mean. Meaning, like,
that's
obviously it's her
yeah.
name, it's spelled correctly. Um, but anyway,
That's kind of
yeah,
why
they
I
go
didn't
into
was
it.
like, oh, you're wrong because it's like I don't know if it's like a just because it looks one way, it's not
Yeah,
said that way.
no, correct, 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 correct. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. But let us move on to Gen V. Whew, we had the Gender Blender versus the Blood Bender in the Blender Bowl.
Yep, that was built up the entire episode, and obviously uh, we knew it was coming because of the trailer.
No, no, no. I'm not saying that either. I'm more of what I'm getting at was it was just the obviously we don't know if the fight is completely over yet, obviously, but
Yeah,
we're assuming it is. My whole thing is it's like I was expecting more, but man, I will say this: I was definitely not prepared for what happened.
no, I didn't expect Cypher to reveal his powers. I didn't expect his powers to be what they were.
So I have so many
Eh,
thoughts. So anyway, a big, big, big thing we got to go into is just the fact of like how this kind of came to be. So apparently, Marie was supposed to take special classes with Cipher alone to
mhm.
better use her powers. But before that happened, they basically got told they were going to do a cage. Well, they didn't say cage fight; they just said a fight, and it was going to be between the two of them. And basically, they were going to say no. And Cypher's like, "Fine, all three of you can go to prison, back to prison." Like, what did Emma do? It's like it's called incentive, and you're going to do it. And they're like, "Well, I guess we're going to do it." And that was exactly it. So anyway, Marie had to go to special training with him. While they do that, Jordan and Kate. I almost said cat. That's why I hesitated. Kate.
The two
They were the.
characters.
I know, because we're gonna be talking about both of them today, and I gotta be ready for that. So anyway, they work together, and I use that in quotes. And Kate's powers are not working appropriately. They are. I would argue that they are working to some degree, um,
Yeah,
but they're definitely not working. They're not working like they used to for sure, and they're less predictable.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. They work. It's just she now no longer has complete control over them. Like you said, they're unpredictable. She can kind of have a sense of what they're going to do, but then they're like, for example, she told the guard to go whatever, and he
No, she told
did.
she told him to go f. She told him to go f off because we're allowed to say that. And what he did was he f the garden gnome.
Yeah. After that happened and their faces with each other, it was a good chuckle. That was one of those.
I think my favorite was the fact that Jordan was looking at her, being like, "I'm not grabbing the keys. Like you figure this out."
Yep.
And she's just like, "Ugh." And then she's like trying not to look. Um, no, I thought that like that was actually like really good. So then they go inside. Uh, they're looking at the vault. They can't, well, safe, whatever you want to call it. Can't get in. They see this hyperbolic chamber. See some guy who looked like he was burnt. Then they wake up and they freak out and leave. Um,
But they
and
took a picture first.
yeah, so sorry. Well, the picture
Uh,
is what made him wake up. No, you're not wrong. I know, I know.
I mean, it's
Oh yeah.
interesting how the
But
picture is what made him wake up when I don't. I mean, there wasn't like a sound or a flash, so I'm just like very curious. And like, okay, just sense their presence.
I have my thoughts, but we'll talk about that at the end because I have thoughts on who that is. And then while Marie is learning to control her powers, Cypher wants her to move the blood bag from one table to the other without it popping. She fails on the first bag, and then he starts yelling at her, and it's like, "Stop using your hand. Just feel it. Just feel it." And when that happens, she moves all the other bags with ease to the other side, which I thought was
She was
fantastic.
able to focus, which was pretty cool. I must say, like he clearly
Until we got to the goat.
until the goat, which she got for the most part until she got
No, no. So she
distracted.
was, and I mentioned that was exactly it. So like realistically, she was fine. The issue came when she was feeling Cypher's blood and couldn't feel any V in his blood, and then the goat went boom.
Mm-hmm. I knew that was coming, and I just when it still happened, it still was kind of shocking.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like I figured that the goat was gonna explode, but at the same time I was like, well, she did it with the bags fine. Maybe she's not gonna do it with the goat.
Nah, I knew that. Like the bat, he even
No,
said
it
it
was
was
just
like
like
it's a different
it was
thing.
just no, it is. But I'm like, but he's like, just think of it as a bag, and he's like, oh, I guess you popped the bag.
Yeah, and bring in the next one. He is so sick and twisted.
He's but he's just so weird. And like,
Yeah,
yeah. Anyway, so then the plan is that they're gonna stop the fight, and the way they're gonna stop the fight is to record Cypher admitting that he doesn't have powers. And the plan is Emma and her team are going to set up the camera. Kate's going to speak to him in the VIP box, and Jordan and Marie are just not going to fight. That's the whole thought, right? And shockingly, none of that is exactly what happens.
things never go according to plan.
And we got to meet the superhero known as Bushmaster.
Yeah, we found out her powers. Actually, we should say
And we, yes, but we also got her name. We gave her a name as
we gave her a name.
Bushmaster.
Yep, yep. I mean,
She
we
should have
we
been in Luke
knew.
Cage.
Yeah, actually, yeah. She should have been. Uh,
I just like how you realized, oh, it is the same name.
it is. I forgot about that.
Now you can't. Um, I also find it interesting that it's only one part of her body that she's able to control hair.
Yeah. Yeah, no, obviously she was embarrassed about it, and I'm just curious why it was only that particular location that she could control it.
Well, here's my thought process on this, and we'll talk about this more when we talk about how what Cipher is. Um, but I feel like for whatever the reason, that's where her powers started, probably during puberty, as weird as that sounds. And so she thought that was the only hair she could control, and is never because she might have to do something different to control other hair on her, she might not be able to figure out how to do so.
That is actually a fair point. You know, if you just it's what you knew you could do, so she might, like you said, she never
So, like,
tried to do something else. So,
the example I'm using right now is like Marie cutting herself to use her blood as a weapon,
yep.
where realistically she never technically had to do that.
hmm I mean, even going with like Emma and her powers, she
Nope,
always
absolutely.
felt like she had to throw up or feel bad about herself. Never tried it any other way. And
No, no, I don't disagree with you, and I think that's the key that I'm like we're both saying the same thing. Where it's like,
yeah,
I think as weird as it sounds, like I think it might be just a mental blocker that's making her only be able to use that.
yeah. And we like
Um,
you said, we were saying the same thing. We were just giving different examples. We were
exactly.
giving examples of how it was already being shown in the universe. Um,
Correct, and I think also for that age group too, which is huge.
yeah. I mean, that age group,
Because
even with like us, it's like we don't, our generation just doesn't have that confidence that other generations have. So it makes sense that they're limited because they don't have their own confidence to be able to even willing to try something. You know, you're comfortable with something, you're just going to stick with it. You're not willing to branch out because you're afraid that something's going to go wrong.
well, also too, like Starlight learning how to use her powers in different ways, also.
Mm,
Like we seen in the boys, like her flying.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot she could fly, technically.
Well, it's like yes and no. Like she can, but it's like she's only done it twice.
That we've seen. Yeah,
No, but that's what I mean. Yeah, that's more of what I'm saying. But it's not something she could just easily do. I'll say it that way. It's
absolutely.
not like Homeland. It's not like Homelander where she just has to think it and does it. It's still a new thing for her. But no, it's interesting to see because I think that's kind of cool. Do we know what the guy's power is?
Which guy?
The big buff Medusa's brother. Is it Medusa's brother or I mean, is it Bushmaster's brother or is it the chameleon?
I don't. I know they
One of the
said it.
brothers.
Yeah, I know they said it. I don't remember which one. But
Is it? We
I
don't.
don't think we knew their power. I don't think we found it out.
Okay. Okay. No, that's fine. He's a big boy. Big
Yep,
boy.
he's a lookout.
He's. I mean, he's just like not super. Like when I say like, I don't want to say he's not super anything, but like he's just like built big.
He's a big guy. I mean, he's a
Boy.
jock.
So anyway, we got to see Cypher's butt.
Yeah,
Other
but
scenes,
in other areas, I was as soon as that
I
showed
was
up,
not prepared for that.
I was like, okay, are they? Because when he unbuckled, I'm like, okay, are they going to show it? And they like showed the upper half. I'm like, okay, good, we don't have to see it. And then he started
No,
sitting,
they just have to see.
and I'm like, no, we can't go an episode in this show without seeing someone's genitalia.
Honestly, my whole thing was, were we got like the genitalia was not the shock. It was more of like, are they gonna actually show somebody pooping,
I
like
thought
actually poop?
I thought
To be
that what
fair,
was
can't we agree?
I didn't think they were going to show him pooping. I thought we were going to see
But like,
Emma coming out.
let's see it come down.
Yeah, just covered in it. That's what I was expecting. And the fact that she
Oh,
got away was, I'm like, oh, good.
yeah. So she runs, sets up the camera. Cypher basically admits he has no powers, and then goes, "Oh, by the way, did you get a good angle?" He goes, "Hopefully it's a good angle because I feel like this side's my good side, but like I don't know. You can tell me if I'm wrong." And honestly, I was legitimately like, "What the hell is this guy?"
Yeah.
I feel like we learned so much about him, and now know even less.
No, he's such a great mystery right now. They are
He
using
is
this
the
character
mysteries of mysteries.
perfectly.
Oh, so apparently, we don't know the full extent of his powers. I'll say that. Um, but apparently he knew where the camera was, and then took over Jordan's body to then beat Marie until Marie started attacking Jordan.
Yep. And like it was like you said, took over Jordan, and we don't exactly even still know how he did it because it could like a mental
Well,
control or like some other form
something
of that.
I don't know if you noticed, but there was something that happened to Jordan's face when Cypher took over.
I did notice her face looked a little bit strange.
Like it looked like the some of the veins were like popping out a little bit more.
Yep. Yep.
Um, however, when I say that, I'm I it could have been a Marie thing too, like don't get me wrong, but I'm very curious to see what happens there because now I'm wondering if he has the same powers as Marie.
I was wondering that until she was talking. And the only and obviously we
Oh,
don't know the extent of it. I don't know if like Marie can control someone and cause them to talk.
so here's my thought process, right? Because this is all part of the
Hmm.
Cipher debacle, okay?
Yep.
So
Yep.
Cipher is the son of Godokin, okay? Godokin was the one in the hyperbolic chamber. That's my predictions right now. Um,
Actually makes sense.
right? Isn't it weird? But bear with me, right? So the reason why I think he is a blood user, or right now I would say he falls into the same category as Newman and Marie, but he knows the extent of Marie's powers because he has them.
Hmm.
So he knows the full potential of what she can do. So therefore, she has the ability. I'm using it this way because we're not 1,000% sure that he does have that power. Bear with me.
Yep.
So he would then be able to control all of the blood in the body, which would then control the brain because you would then you would feel it in the sense of like know where the blood needs to go and then do what it needs to do.
That is okay. I didn't think of the brain being able to be controlled by the blood, but that does make sense. And I definitely 100% agree with you with him knowing Marie's full potential because he has her powers. I was kind of getting to that, or like getting into that with, it's like when I first saw it, I was like, okay, he must have her powers. Like I said, then seeing him causing Jordan to talk, I was like, oh, maybe it's something else. But
Which
again, going
also
off of your brain thing is makes a lot of sense.
which also explains why she can't feel the V in his system because he can only manipulate the blood in his system, not the V. So he could move the V in one area of his body.
Well, yeah, yep, yeah, because
So it wouldn't be pumping through him necessarily.
mm-hmm. um, actually, because you mentioned Godolkin, I want to mention. I don't know if you saw. Last week you had talked about Godolkin marrying Stormfront.
Oh yes, no, I was wrong.
Yep.
Obviously, obviously
It was.
she was married to Vought.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention that before we
Oh no,
forgot.
yeah, because no, no, you're right, you're right, you're right. Um, but no, I'm very curious on that front because it's like because I had other thoughts too about Cipher, but the more and more I thought about it, the only way it truly makes sense is if he has Marie's powers. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not stating that like the blood necessarily can control the whole body and everything else. That could be a whole nother thing he can do, or like
Mhm.
he's put technology in everybody so he controls them all because they're all eating the food at Kadoken. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Mhm.
like it's not like that's that far fetched. But yeah, it ends with Jordan falling down after being lifted up by their innards of their blood, and then just being basically knocked out on the ground or on the mat, and that's how the episode ends.
Yep. I thought in that instance that I thought when Jordan was crying out to Marie, I thought Marie was going to cause her to explode as well, just like the goat, because she was freaking out. So we saw her land on the ground, I was like, oh, good, good, it's not over yet.
I as weird as it sounds, I felt like this was the. I also feel like this was all. This gonna obviously it was planned by Cipher, but the idea was this would be her final test because she would do anything to protect Jordan, so she would force herself to not pop the bag.
I
So
agree,
so I feel like that's why he was smiling at the end was not because Marie won or that
but because
that
she got control over powers.
correct.
Yep.
Only
No, I
because
agree with you, but
exactly.
I was more saying just because that's my thought process. I was like, oh my god, she's
No,
going
you're
to
not wrong.
explode her, and then when she didn't, and like you said, when you saw the smile, I was like, this was all what he wanted.
This is his plan. Like he only did this fight not although they made it they thought it was for punishment, he was actually doing it to train her, which at the same time is a
It's
whole
both.
another level. But I will tell you that something's been spoiled to me that I know how this is all going down. Um to a certain degree. I don't know the ending, I don't know all this stuff, but there was one thing that was spoiled to me. And still has not been revealed itself yet into this season, which makes me very um, much so thinking it's a huge plot point that has now been ruined for me.
Okay, I I want to know, but at the same time, I want to keep it secret because if it's supposed to be a major plot point reveal, I appreciate your hesitation.
Well, I'm only saying it that way because it's the only thing that makes sense. Because they haven't been seen yet in in the season yet. I know
Mhm.
they're coming because it popped up as one of the like the because remember I told you at the end of episode 1, I happened to see I thought it was going to be just like telling me what's going to happen in the next episode because I
Yeah,
was just going to watch it because it was a 3 episode premiere. Well, they gave us the whole preview of the season and somebody showed up and I
uh,
went, "Oh!" And then
yeah,
I was
okay.
like, "Oh, we're going to see them in the third I'm going to see them in the first 3 episodes." Well, spoiler alert, Mike, I haven't seen them after episode 4.
Yep. No, I remember you mentioning that, and I was wondering if you had saw them, and I just forgot to ask. So that is
No, so you've it's now been confirmed I have not seen them.
all right. I'm very curious.
put it this way: when you see them, you will
I'll
know
know.
exactly. You'll know immediately going, this is what Scott was talking about the whole damn time. But I don't know when they're coming, which makes it even more fun. So it's gonna be a
I
surprise for us all.
I like have a theory, but I don't want to say it because I don't want you to say yes, I'm right or wrong, because then obviously that changes
Like
everything for me as well.
I am good enough to at this point to not tell you. Let's be honest. No, seriously, since we've done
Yeah,
this, I've done a great job of not spoiling things, but also making you think other things will happen instead, and you're like,
I was about to say you're good at misleading me.
no, and that's exactly it. I would definitely do that because I don't think I'd be able to completely hide it. So I would then be like, oh yeah, and then Homelander comes and then destroys everything, and just blows up the whole school. So plot twist, that doesn't happen.
Oh, great! Now I have a chance. It's gonna happen.
What's really funny is if that does happen, I'm literally gonna get texts from you because you'll see it before me, and you'll be like, "What the hell?" And I'll be like, "Oh, it happened. It happened."
No, you're not even gonna get that. I'm just gonna f you. That's all you're gonna
And the
get.
best part is, I'll be like, "I don't." Even, the best part is, I'm gonna be like, "I'm not 100% sure I know exactly what this is."
There are so many reasons why I'm gonna be getting this text. I don't know why.
I'm thinking it's this, and I have a good chance it's right because it's Thursday, but that doesn't mean I'm right. But yeah, no, very much looking forward to it. I feel like the next episode we're either gonna see the remaining of the fight if it continued, or obviously the aftermath of the fight.
The aftermath. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of going with. Yeah.
Because I feel like the way it ended, they're not gonna show any more of the fight because I feel like it was over at that point.
hmm it
They
seemed
didn't
like that.
officially end it.
hmm
Like
It.
it wasn't like nobody said Marie won.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, especially because the fight. I think wasn't the fight to the death.
That was never clear because based on all the other fights that they showed in the previews, like you know how they did the promos and like we did the battle of the sexes, we did all this. None of those people died, like fought to the death. So
That's
I
fair.
felt like none of them. This was not gonna be one either. Although obviously it didn't matter if it did.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? Because like in Cypher's mind, it works either way. Either Marie gets rid of Jordan, right?
Yep.
And she hasn't mastered her powers, or she masters her powers. It's a win-win.
hmm Absolutely.
But yeah, so very good. I This episode was very good. I was very happy with it. But let us move on to Peacemaker because kind of what we were expecting to happen happened, but at the same time, nowhere close to the way I was thought it was going to happen. I'll say it that way.
This was an episode of we knew it was coming, but the way that it happened was
But
still
not like
shocking.
this.
Um,
They did
it
such a good. You're absolutely right. They did such a good job of being like, this is what's going to happen, and like we're going to tell you because you're still going to be shocked by it. And to be
Yep.
honest with you, not wrong.
I know I'm gonna jump straight to the end here, but when Keith came out of the truck and his first words were one of them got out, I was like, this is how we're going. It's not like they just got all eliminated, but they're being held somewhere. And I'm
So
like,
that's what threw me off too, because I just thought, as weird as it sounds, I thought they just didn't, whether they didn't exist or they were all just eliminated, right?
yep.
Because
I
that's
was
the only
expecting eliminated.
possibility.
Yep.
Correct. And the fact that he said exactly that, one got out, I was like, oh my goodness. And then we saw what is stereotypically called an avalanche chasing after aboutt.
I have I, I have never heard that, and that is hilarious. All right. Just-
I'm holding it together, Mike. I'm holding it together.
I
Like
absolutely,
you
absolutely love it.
I was perfectly fine until you started laughing.
It's,
I was
I
perfectly
just,
okay.
it was one of those things where what you said didn't click in my head, and as the wheels start turning, it's like, I'm like, well, what the hell are you talking about? An avalanche? Oh, not the white people. The white people, the avalanche.
Yeah, there was a lot of white people running. Um, We also
I'll,
found
I'll,
out that there were several differences from our universe to their universe. I know that's weird to say, but bear with me. Um, is the fact that Mick Jagger was the lead singer of the Beatles,
yep, yep.
which means the Rolling Stones don't exist.
Or if they do, someone else is filling their slot.
All right, that's well Mick Jagger's spot, yeah, because we don't know
Yeah.
what's with the rest of the group.
Hmm.
But you know what's funny? You know what I'm thinking? Because there also was a heavy influence about drug use. Because
Hmm.
the way hardcore was like um,
You
taken
gonna
away.
say it right
We're
now?
gonna talk about that in a minute. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. Because there's a reason why we're holding off on that because we have to talk about somebody else that was finally introduced at the same time. So anyway,
Mhm.
my whole thing was they were heavily focused on the drugs and like they would never treat a worker that way, like in the sense of like if you understand what I'm saying, somebody who has like the skill set and everything else that she has, if she happened to like get that like feel like the dog barking, normally you would not have somebody like they'd be like, "Hey, did you like do a bust or something?" Like anything else would have been the question instead of them putting her to a room. So there's also something about drugs that is not allowed either where it's like a high standard like nobody's allowed to use drugs, which is
Yeah.
also weird because that Peacemaker, that universe also was using drugs.
Hmm. Yeah. No, that was a weird.
But there's
That,
some
that whole
but
thing
there's
was a weird thing.
but it makes me think that there's something in that universe because if you also notice too, the universe was also very nice.
You care to explain that a
Cause,
little bit
cause
more?
remember, yeah. So what I'm saying is, if you notice the interaction with Hardcourt, when he's like, "I'll hold on to your snow globe, Miss Hardcourt," and she goes, "Shove it up your, you know, you know what I mean?" And they
Yep.
were all like stunned. You assume that it was because that's the way she would never speak. But if you listen to how everyone else speaks, right? Other than the Blue Dragon doesn't count. He's his own little cuckoo nonsense. Um, but he and nobody
Everyone is
really
friendly.
swears.
Yeah.
Nobody's swearing either.
Yeah.
Nobody
I
else
mean,
is swearing
I
either in
no,
this
I
universe.
agree. I mean, in general, the personality is very different, and um, it's one of those things where I don't know how stereotypical I'm being with this, but um,
You're being very
at
stereotypical.
least at least in the U.S., there's the belief that people in the South are very friendly, and they're always very cheerful and happy and not angry, whereas people in the northern part of the U.S. is always angry and grouchy. So like
I think it's
they
more. I
get
think it's more, and I'm gonna add on to what you're saying because you're not wrong. I think it's the persona. It's
yeah.
the outer shell where like we're out in public, we're gonna be polite.
Hmm.
Like you
As
are
that's true.
how you doing? You know what I mean?
But
All that
then when
stuff,
you
right?
but then when you go behind closed doors, it's like wow, that person's
Which, if you also notice too, the only time we've ever heard them. Granted, I know we don't see a lot of interactions with the trio, but all the swearing and everything else was only when they were in the house.
yeah, absolutely.
Which again, it's one of those things where it's like something very specific is happening where I feel like it's a lot of things were uh, like it's definitely like Confederacy esque, like
Hmm.
Confederacy One type of thing,
Yep,
right?
which
Obviously, we
yeah,
know it's a Nazi America, but I mean, bear with me.
yeah,
Um, the other thing too was I like how Hardcourt was the only one to notice it right away.
that's what I
Like,
was about to say. Yep, she noticed that everything was off, whereas
um,
Peacemaker
and
was
and
only focusing on his what was making him happy. He didn't notice around like the two very different characters that they are. I thought that was
well,
really
it was
cool.
also well. I also have to say too that the other thing that somebody was mentioning in comments was because people were like, "How did Peacemaker?" Like, obviously, there's something wrong with Peacemaker if he couldn't notice, and it's like somebody stated something very clear, like when you're being praised all the time,
Yeah,
you don't notice what's actually happening around you.
yeah.
You're
He
in this perfect bubble,
in his head, he's finally in a good place because he has a family
and
that cares about him.
he's treated like with respect out in the community.
Hmm. Yep. So it's like
So
he's
like,
not picking up on those small things because, well, I mean, they're big, but for him, they're small because
be careful what you say.
it,
It seems
it's
pretty big to me.
no, it is big, but for him, it wasn't big
Based on the
because
avalanche, Mike, that was a big avalanche. Okay, I've never seen an avalanche that big.
it could be bigger. All right,
But
they're
yeah,
good.
well, I can promise you that they have not had an avalanche in a long time, and so they didn't get prepared enough for it. All right,
It caught them
avalanches
off
take
guard.
time. Mike, sometimes you just are not prepared.
Speaking of avalanche, which has nothing to do with an avalanche, but when the blue
Well, it's
dragon
no. If we talking about, oh,
when the
go ahead.
blue dragon just turned around and whipped Economos in the head with that can and then stabbed him in the hand with just, and Economos just told him everything. I was like, you are a fool. Actually, no, going back
I
to the
just like how he's.
avalanche.
I I literally like him being like, I am speaking way too much right now.
Yup. But going back to the avalanche part, we have not seen Judo Master.
So one of the things that kills me is I had no I thought he was in hiding until we heard one got out, and then I was like, he's been captured.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm very, very interested. Like, he got captured, he got killed. He could still be in
No,
hiding, like you said, but
no, he could be, but I'm guessing captured. And here's my thought process, where I think because we have to. There's some major thing that we still have not talked about, basically Beanie Babies, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. Which you were right.
that is a pro- that is a prominent point of the episode, and we have. What's crazy is like that should be the craziest part, and it's not. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Like they did such a great job of being like, "Oh my gosh, this is nuts," to then going, "No, this is something worse."
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Um,
Um, so I think Adebayo is going to get captured.
Absolutely. Yep.
I think Peacemaker and Hardcourt are going to have to escape and fight Argus, right?
Hmm.
We're also going to see a fight with Keith, which will be interesting because Keith's going to hold back because he still thinks that's his brother, but he hasn't been told yet by his dad that that's not his brother.
Either or he gets told and he's just going to unload.
I don't think that's the right phrasing you want to use because then we're going to be having to deal with a whole nother avalanche, and I'm not prepared.
Not that
That's
kind of
one.
avalanche. You sick.
Just I want to make it clear. Anyway, so also, all right, we're gonna before we talk about the two vigilantes, we have to go back to where how they got into the alternate universe. Okay, because this we finally get to see who the woman was in the opening trailer. I mean, the opening credits that we had not seen yet, and it
Hmm.
is none other than Adrian, aka Vigilante's mother, who is
Yep.
now my favorite character of all time.
Who just loves to talk.
We now know where part of where Adrian gets his problems.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's like
Um, that interaction was incredible, and just how all of them were laughing hysterically, and I loved also when the name correction of Harcourt was definitely a dig at me because I
they
just like
called
how it
you
was
out.
pronounced. They did. And I just like how it was like a lot of people get that wrong, and I'm like,
I, I just
I guess
when I
a lot of
saw
people.
that, I could picture your reaction, and you're just like, "Is he talking to me? Is he talking to me right now?" I don't like
I'm
where this is
like, I
going.
don't. Weirdly enough, it actually made me feel like, thank goodness I'm not the only one. Like because
Don't
it
worry.
it was legitimately so many other people that they had to make it a scene. Like it couldn't like I'm not that special that they would have thought it was just me. Um, but yeah, that was great. And then we get into his basement, which is completely filled with pallets of drugs and pallets of money.
Yeah. Yeah, and he will not touch it
And I
because
just
it's
like it.
blood money.
And I just like how Adebayo was like, "You made me pay for coffee because you said you were broke. What is all this?" He goes, "I'm not gonna use blood money." And then they go, and then they all look at each other and like,
Just
"Yeah,
start
that's awful. You should
stuffing.
never use that." As they start stuffing,
that
and
was
then you
that was
see
that was
so much.
great comedy.
Honestly, more people are gonna go to that place. Be like, Adrian, I just want to see your collection of Beanie Babies.
Yeah. That's why it's in
I
his
just want to
secret
see.
room.
But I also like to when Peacemaker finds Hardcourt in the alternate universe, and is like, "Oh, you went down there?" And she's like, "Yeah. Are there a lot of Beanie Babies down there? Not as much as kilos of fentanyl, I'll tell you that right now." And he's
Yep.
just like, "Interesting, interesting." And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, that's the weirdest part of the whole thing because like everyone and myself included would not have been surprised if the whole thing was just covered in Beanie Babies. Like, I don't think any of us would have been shocked, right? None of
No,
us.
no,
But the
no.
fact that it had all that stuff, and then it had a small little section of Beanie Babies, I was like, okay,
But he won't get rid of them because they're about to skyrocket in price.
yeah, and they have a lot of stretch. The ostrich,
Oh yeah. Um,
because and it's the coolest one.
Continuing with the vigilante bit, we have confirmed that in the DC universe, Spider-Man is canon,
Yes.
which is
Well,
cool.
in both universes, it's canon. It feels like because they both knew about it.
Yes, they did. They both know about. They're both their
It's
favorite
also
Pokemon is
interesting.
Infernape.
Yes, 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 yes. So Pokemon is also a thing.
Yep.
Um, here's I want. Here's my question now. Because of the different universes, right? Do you think Fairy type exists in the alternate universe in Pokemon?
I would say no. If it is,
I
it's
don't
only
know.
certain Pokemon that will be. It's not like not like everybody. It's going to be a particular trait that makes you a fairy type. Like you have to be girly and whatever. You can't be, because the Nazi universe has got to be
I feel
strict
like
and masculine.
obviously Mr. Mime would not be one of them,
Exactly.
but they might make an alternate of Mrs. Mime.
That could be a case. That could be a case. Yeah.
But yeah,
Talking about the
it's just
important
interesting to see because
subjects.
it's like honestly, I mean the most important subject. But no, I'm very curious because at the very least it made it to Gen 4. At the
Yep.
very least,
That's
is
yeah.
similar enough because the fact that it's Infernape. Um, Also, they have and their favorite color is teal, which is great. However, honestly, when we first get introduced to the alternate vigilante, he felt so level-headed that I was like, "Oh my gosh, is going to be the complete opposite."
Of
And
what you
then
thought.
that's not what
then
happened.
then they were the exact
They
same
were
thing.
the same, minus
No.
only one thing. And that, guess what? I guarantee you, this will be the bit. This will be the bit. I already know it. Okay. The fact is that one hates Peacemaker and the other one loves Peacemaker. When Vigilante talks about his other self, he is now going to say they are completely different people.
What do you mean? Like vigilante is going to like he's going to be referring to the like the two vigilantes are completely different people, or Peacemaker is completely different people.
No, no, no. Meaning like no, no. He's Peacemaker's the same to him. Let's be real. But he's gonna say this universe is so weird. This vigilante is completely different than me. We
Oh yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
nothing's the
yeah.
same, and it's like literally everything except
Everything
for
is the
one
same.
thing.
No,
But Peacemaker.
that's going to be
And
very
that's gonna be
true.
the that's that's gonna be the bit. I also like too that he we see his dad there, who apparently is not gay in this universe, which means he is, but he's hiding it.
Yep.
Um, because it feels like everything else in this universe is exactly the same, but obviously in a different circumstance. So very interested to see all that. Um, Also, now that I think about it, do we see any women in pants? Also, now that I think about it,
I don't think so.
because I thought about this. Because he made it very clear, like I've never seen you not wear, like I've never seen you wear pants before. like
Yeah.
all black, and then with pants on.
I mean, it makes sense for, like I said, the universe that they're in. So, um, I
But I'm trying to
believe that
remember the
you're
woman
correct.
getting out of the car. I'm trying to remember the woman getting out of the car. Like, was it pants or was it?
I wasn't focusing on that. Like that's the thing.
No, I just remember her running to the other person. That's all I remember. I don't
Yeah.
remember like what she was wearing. But now that I think about it, I'm like, because we don't see that many females.
No, it's mainly men that we see. The only one that's in the spotlight is Harcourt, and she's in a dress or skirt, whatever.
Always, always, or she's naked.
Or she's naked. Focusing on the
Both
important
answers.
parts.
Very important. But yeah, I don't. I'm curious on that one because now I'm not confident. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really change much. But yeah, I am super looking forward to the next episode because so much needs to happen and we got to just figure it out.
Yep, that's for sure. Give me 1 second. I am looking back at the video to see if the woman is in a skirt dash dress or not. Um, I think she's in short shorts, short jeans.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
Um, oh yeah, no, there are other women here that are in because they're walking in Argus, and there was a woman that walked behind that was in black, uh, leather pants.
Pants.
Yep.
Okay.
So no, it's just
No,
it
that's
was just Harcourt that
it
was in that coincidental
okay.
situation. And there's other
It
women
didn't
running
even
in jeans. Yep.
That's fine. You understand why I'm mentioning it because I'm now questioning everything
Nope,
because I'm
you
wondering how many other details were like clearly obvious and we had no idea. Oh, also, the alternate vigilante is part of the Sons of Liberty.
yep. Sons of Liberty, and they are the, I guess, the hero group while still doing terrorist activities. They are technically the hero group in this universe.
No, they're the villains of that universe.
Well, yes, they're the villains, but you know what I mean.
But to us, they are heroes. But
Yep.
to that universe, they are villains.
Tomato, tomato.
No,
It's perspective. It's perspective.
he's in everything. So, let us move on to Marvel Zombies, the best Halloween show.
That wasn't in Halloween.
Yeah, that's what pisses me off. I'm gonna
This would
rewatch
have
it
been
while I'm
perfect
doing
for
it.
Halloween. Like that, this would have been perfect. Um, when is Halloween?
So
Halloween's on a
you know what
Friday.
sucks is I'm legitimately gonna rewatch it on Halloween too. Like I'm gonna watch it while people are trick or treating in my neighborhood.
You're gonna have it on in the background and just hear people screaming.
Yeah, it's the way the world intended. So we were right and wrong about a lot of things of this show. We did get the I don't want to say this backstory of some of the characters of kind of what
Yep,
happened to them.
yep.
Not
Which I
everything,
know,
not
I know
everything.
you didn't think that was gonna happen at all. So I am glad that we did.
I I
Um,
am impressed that they did it in a way that it worked with the flow of the story.
yep. It. I mean, like I said, they were introducing new characters that we didn't see in the original What If episode. So it would make sense to give us that little bit of background. Um,
Yep.
So I'm very glad that they did. I love that they did that for at least that part with the Shang-Chi part. Um, showing how the initial outbreak was taking place. Um, Obviously, we didn't see too much of the initial outbreak in general outside of that. But
Which
you know,
also makes sense why we saw that because that's where the outbreak actually started
yep,
because that's where Hank Pym came out of the quantum realm with the
yep.
virus.
Uh, not not Hank. It was his wife.
Didn't he go and get her and bring her back and then he got attacked? Oh no no no!
I did
You're right.
no, he didn't. He
It was
called her.
different. It was different. It was different because you're right. Because in the movie, he went in, but in the
Yep.
episode, he brought her in.
Yes. Yep. that was catching me off guard with the random civilians getting gigantic. Like
No,
that
but
was kind
what's
of
funny is that legitimately made me go, oh, I forgot that Shang-Chi takes place in the same area or close to it to where Ant-Man and the Wasp was. So like it all fits together.
it all flows. Yep. Um,
Because obviously the
I
events of Shang-Chi were after this, technically.
yeah. Yeah, well, it was like it started at the same time and then did its own thing, as you
Well,
know.
like my whole thing is, yeah, you get my point of making. Like we already knew what he was doing at this point in time, but
Mhm.
we only found that out after Endgame.
Yeah. Um, I got now jumping back to the episode one. I know we talked about this a little bit
No,
yesterday, but
we need to start with episode one because there's a lot of things that flowed together that we need to just follow the waves.
but right off the rip,
And
I
it's
was
not.
not. Huh?
Nope.
And
Go
it's
ahead.
not. All I was gonna say was like we were talking about yesterday a little bit was the absolute shock that Kate Bishop got annihilated right on episode one, because I was expecting them to be like the main characters of these four episodes, and the fact that it was only Miss Marvel that was, but uh it just was a big shock for me. Just I was like, it set the tone of what's to come, and
So there
it
was a
was
lot of
a
things in this episode that threw me off.
yep.
So the Hawkeye trying to capture its food, number one. Um, them also ripping the chest open was a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
Ripping
Yeah.
together
Hmm.
thing
Yep.
with
Because they thought
such
it was
ease.
dead.
With such ease.
I mean,
Well, they were.
um,
But I do want to make it clear that she did ask were they dead dead
yes,
because
yes,
there's a difference
yes.
between dead and dead dead. And to be fair, I don't disagree.
Nope, nope. It's exactly how I would have described it. It's like, are they dead? No. Are they dead? Dead? I don't know. Like, we'll find out.
Because I
Um,
literally would have been, I would have been like, obviously they're dead, but are they dead dead? Nah, I have no idea. Find out. Find out.
um, the thing that I wanted to mention that I had talked about in one of the previous videos was that I don't think the zombies in this universe are as sentient as they were in the comic, or not sentient, intelligent, I guess. Only a select few had communication ability. Um, it was
Well, I'm gonna argue that it was technically only one of them that gave it to all of them.
it was Wanda, and then she allowed certain ones to be able to communicate, but we only saw Okoye be able to talk. Everyone else was grunting and roaring.
No,
We
that's
never
true.
saw anyone
That's
else
true.
talk.
Because even well, we'll talk about that later. But even somebody else who came later only growled and roared. They did not actually speak either.
If you're talking about who I think you're talking about, I don't think they even said anything. I think he was just maniacally walking, menacingly walking. Sorry, not maniacally. If it's who I'm thinking of.
Same person.
If it's the one that was if it was the other one, then yeah, he was just roaring and ripping people to shreds.
I'm talking about the one that came at the very end that killed a lot of people. Thor.
Thor. He did no, did he grunt? I don't. I thought he literally just came in, walked, and then like shot lightning down and just walked. I didn't think he
Which, by the
uttered.
way, did not realize that that was his lightning. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
that right now. It took me a minute to register that that was him
yeah,
because it
no.
was bright red.
Hmm.
Um,
But it's him fused with Wanda, so it makes sense.
I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I said it threw me off. That's all I said.
No, I
Um,
know, I know. I'm adding on to what you're
yeah,
saying,
thanks for
Mister
letting me.
Sally Sensitive.
So, anyway, we need to finish talking about episode one because we get to the point of Hawkeye, right? Who is. I feel like some of them are sentient to a certain degree. Like they have their abilities, right? But they don't seem to like they're able to use it. But it seems to be for like Hawkeye. I'll say this: Hawkeye seemed the most in control
but
of
he like you
non-Wanda zombies.
but like at the same time like you said, he did later get granted Wanda's powers. He became
Oh no, I'm not disagreeing with you.
but
Yeah,
in episode 1 he had the ability to be just use his powers.
yeah,
Like I
and
had
he
said,
was good.
yeah, he was. But like I had said before, it seems like they can all just keep their powers, but their consciousness isn't entirely there. Whereas in those comics,
No, that's fair. No, 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 you're right. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. Yep. Absolutely. So then we get to go to Ohio because that's where everyone goes in the zombie apocalypse. So we go to Ohio. We don't make it there because apparently there's. Is it called the Broken God Valley?
I think it was. I think it was the Valley of the Broken Gods. I think
That's what it was. That's what it was. So we just see Icarus battling a um,
Captain
Captain
Marvel,
Marvel,
which was awesome.
and I was not prepared for any of it. Um, and how do I want to phrase this? Um, a lot of death happened right there. So we had Kate Bishop shoot a confetti arrow at um, Captain Marvel. The arrow goes through, and the confetti goes boom. Granted, to be fair, she did not know it was a confetti arrow. Let's
Mm-hmm.
be honest. Either did we. Because when it went through her, when it went through Captain Marvel, I went, "Where's the explosion?" And then it popped, and I went, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay." And then she died, and not even just died. She was obliterated from existence.
I was gonna say
She got.
she was erased from just
They couldn't even find enough of her to put in an urn. That's how gone she was.
no like that I know like I said you had asked me what was the most impactful death and that one just it set like I said it set the
No,
tone
I think
for me.
no, no, I think no, no, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I think I think I understand where you're coming from, and I think after like when you were talking about this one, I was like I think I either have to watch it again or I need more time. I need more time to let it settle because it's like a lot of death happened and they were
Yeah.
all, as you said, all had their own like they it was all very much like this is theirs, this is how they went. You know what I mean? Like they all had their moment of like, ooh, they're gone.
Each death had a purpose, so and it was you know um like you said, Kate Bishop was the first one. That one just was devastating. Then it was like the other one jumping ahead, it was each of the Black Widows. Each of their death was
Well, so we're skipping one thing because, and I know why you're skipping it because
it's part of this
since
conversation.
it's not death.
Oh,
No, no, I
oh,
know, but
yeah,
Riri Williams.
yep,
So the thought is she was dead. To be fair, bear with me. At
yep,
this point, before we get to the end, we assume she's dead because
hmm
she was bitten, and then she stabbed herself with something which we assumed was to stop the virus
it
or
was assumed to be
slow
some
it down.
kind of antidote or something. Like that's how what I had assumed.
And I'm not disagreeing, but then there was a big explosion that made me go, "Oh no, she did."
Yep, yeah, pretty much. Um, I forgot about the
And
explosion to
then
be honest.
she then runs away. She then runs, Miss Marvel, I mean, and then she gets blasted from behind, gets knocked on the ground, and some creepy old man picks her up on a motorcycle.
Creepy old man. I mean, he is old, that's for sure. He doesn't look it, but
Both both beings are old.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But there was one thing that was revealed. There was one thing that was revealed, though.
I was about to say it if it's what I think you're about to say.
Moon Knight and Blade are friends. They
Okay.
know each other
Yep.
canonically.
They know each other, and that uh, Moon Knight is dead. What happened? Can you not hear me?
And they what?
And Moon Knight is dead.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
Sorry.
yes.
Or
Mark is dead.
Mark is dead. Yeah.
Well, because like Moon Knight is whoever is the Avatar, basically.
Yep. Yep. But
Um,
he had been infected.
and Khonshu's trying to be a hero, which is interesting.
I mean, if everyone's dead, he can't possess anybody, or he doesn't have an avatar if everyone's dead.
And he also is at risk at literally not existing anymore, which is one of his concerns.
Oh, is that a thing in this universe? I do not remember if that was a thing. If people was it if people don't believe in him, it gets erased.
That's the way it was making it seem, especially in
In Moon Knight.
God of Love and Thunder.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, because they're all deities, right? So the idea is that without their followers and everything else, they slowly start to no longer exist.
Erase. Yep. I mean, obviously, I know that that's how
like,
it is. Like with Ares and those guys. So I didn't know if they had
I think
did
they
that
do a
in this
blanket
universe.
statement. I think in Marvel, I think they do it as like a blanket statement for all of them. So like I do believe though I don't necessarily think it's like them being forgotten necessarily, but something has to be destroyed for them to then no longer exist. I
I
think
kind of remember that.
not in the
I kind
MCU.
of remember that from Moon Knight.
I believe you're correct. Yeah. But anyway, you get my point. It's just there's a lot of things, and Khonshu was on the verge of dying.
Mhm.
Anyway, so my apologies. So Blade saves her, then goes to Ohio, and we see a moat of zombies. A moat of zombies.
Literal
Um,
moat.
I was gonna try to make a funny callback, but it's not gonna work, so I'm just gonna shut up. Um, so anyway, the thing that threw me off was I can't remember her name. Is it? I'm now because both the mother and the daughter are there. I can't remember which one is who, name wise.
um, let me.
You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Because they're both similar names, if I remember correctly.
yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find the Black Widow cast.
Well, be quick about it. So anyway, she uses the technology from that movie to then control the zombies.
I
Well,
think
not control.
I think her name was um Melina.
Melina and Ivana? No, no.
Yelena.
Elena. Elena.
Yelena.
Yelena with a Y.
Yeah, I thought you were saying Elena. Sorry.
No, Yelena.
Yep.
I have one of them accents. But anyway, so we see all of them, the three of them, including the Red Guardian. Um, and they allow them passageway. They explain what's going on, and they agree that they're going to, excuse me, figure out what they're going to do. However, the horde of Wanda zombies come to attack the facility, which was by far the coolest thing I've ever seen to start off with. We got to see the half of Captain America.
Yeah. battle
This is back
Red
we've been
Guardian.
talking about for ages.
You're missing your other half.
He goes, I would expect us to be battling with full bodies, but okay. And then he's like, we will be singing about this. Nobody will be singing about this.
I thought
I just like how
the
she shot him down right away. She's just like,
yep.
nobody will be thinking about this.
I loved that that whole Black Widow family like was a
So
they
good.
they
They were
know
good
how
in
to
the
put their
movie,
chemi
and they were
yeah,
good here.
they know how to put their chemistry together. Like that Marvel does a good job with with those guys.
I have to say, like, proof that those characters could have done a lot. The problem was the movie that they were in. That's it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, they would have been it would have been great if the
But
movie
anyway,
was a little bit better.
honestly, I loved these characters being back. We got to see them. We then had them break into the facility. Then the ghost zombie rips apart the rest of the Black Widows. And then they go to run to escape. Milena stops and goes with has them go without her. She shuts down all the gates and then mind controls all the zombies until they came over. Until was it Wanda or was it? Did Wanda
A
actually show up?
Akoya.
It was Okoye. Okay.
Mm.
Okoye's
Because
like you control.
you control the zombies like the queen of the dead, and she said no, this is technology, and she said, well, this is the power of the queen of the dead, and
They all got turned
they all got turned
back,
back.
and
And like I said, that's like another death that was very impactful and very important. It's like
weirdly enough, she died of not being eaten to death. Technically, she was impaled by the spear.
well, she got impaled, but we don't know if the zombies ended up attacking her after. That's the only thing that we didn't see it, but
I'm gonna say this: we know for a fact, and here's my reasoning. Abomination had to plow through her to get through.
I did he? I don't remember. And I'm not like I
He
don't.
had to break. He had to break through all the walls that she put up.
Oh yeah, well I mean, so I'm not saying that she turned. I'm saying the zombies ripped her apart. Like she
Oh no,
literally
I'm
got
saying.
eaten.
I'm saying. I'm more of saying like. I'm sorry. I thought. I meant like she was. She had to have been ripped apart in some way because he had to tear through the wall, and she
Oh,
was attached to the wall. Is more of what I'm getting at.
yeah, okay, but I mean
And also
that's
the
fair.
ghost fight was very quick. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know what I was expecting.
we saw what we saw from the trailer, so
Yeah. Granted, wasn't the best fight. There was much better fights to come, but still good.
yeah,
Um, he takes them out, and then they go and leave.
the pause still
Then
irks
we
me.
go. There's always a pause. Always. Anyway,
The
um,
pause from the stab is just like it doesn't make sense, but it is what it is.
but it's not the only time it happened during this series either. There's a few times.
A couple of times, yeah, but that was the one that like stands out
More,
because
I'm gonna say
we
this.
had already seen it.
More. Yeah, I was gonna say more than there should have been, but I
Yeah,
think we could agree on that. So anyway, they escape. They go. So then we go to the Shang-Chi, as we talked about. The whole world kind of collapses. We see how it starts, and the zombies are just literally just going everywhere. We see giant zombies. We see regular zombies. We see big things, small things. Nobody knows what's going on. Then we have the Mandarin come after they team up after like the group kind of becomes a group as the survivors start opening fire to go save Shang-Chi. However, he refuses to go without the help of his friends, then gets bitten on the arm, and his father throws him the 10 rings and stops the infection from spreading, which means Shang-Chi can only use 9 out of the 10 rings.
yep.
And then they escape apparently, and then for 5 years they do a Mad Max thing, which we
Yeah,
then get to see a Skrull biker gang. And
Scroll
that's like
biker
all I
gang,
would say.
and we saw a biker Jimmy Woo, which was it just one of those characters where it's like you
Was it?
can't picture it.
And his best friend is Death Dealer.
Yep, the perfect combo.
The silent ninja and the funny cop. Um, yeah, honestly, all that was great. Then we get to the city of the sea, which we meet John Walker, who is not a super soldier,
Nope.
and Baron Zemo,
Yep.
because the events never happened of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I just want to make that clear. So then we had Baron Zemo. And do you know what the city on the sea was?
What do you mean? Well,
What it was? Like what it is in the actual MCU?
Uh,
Like
no.
what
What do
was
you?
the thing that they were in?
Oh, it's
Like
the
in Civil War?
the yeah, yeah, the security prison. Uh
Really? Come on,
blanking
Mike.
real
What do you put on on a body of water
a,
to float?
a boat.
Yes. But if you don't have a boat, you have a
A
you
raft.
make
Thank you.
a
The raft. Thank you.
I
I
knew
was
you'd get it.
right.
I knew you'd get it.
I was right. I just
No,
forgot
no,
the
no.
name of it.
I'm like, you're not wrong. A boat, yes, but like, no. um, and then Baron Zemo only took the heroes on just to use them as bait, which was kind of cool.
Cool. Sure. Cool. Sick.
Well, it shows that he's still himself.
Yeah. I mean, he still hates him, even though we hadn't seen Civil War yet. No, we did, because this was
Civil
after.
War happened.
Yeah, this
That's why
Civil
he
War
was
did happen. Yeah.
That's why he runs the raft because he took it over
Yes. Um.
during the apocalypse.
Sorry, with the fact that you said Winter Sol John Walker wasn't a
Super
wasn't a super soldier yet. It just clicked. It was like it went in my head where it was like, nope, Baron Zemo isn't like a main villain yet, even though I came much later. Just confused me for a moment.
Yes, that's right. You're just slow. So then we
Very
have
much
her on the
so.
water, and apparently the Atlanteans are zombies.
They're all infected, which that's the one where I'm a little upset that we didn't see how they started. Which I
I
mean, it
am
probably was just one of those things where it's like one of them went onto shore, got infected, and then brought it back home. Um, but
no. So here's the thing for me, right? Wakanda knows what was down there ish. Um, and the reason why I say that is because Okoye was when they were talking about like ocean earthquakes or whatever. Yeah, we leave those alone. Remember in
mm,
Endgame? Um,
yeah,
so the idea is they knew about it, so they knew where to go to get some seafood. But also, my other thought is airplanes crashing, landing into the water. They are now dead, but like not dead. So
yeah,
and then they find the
actually.
Atlanteans, and then boom.
No, I didn't even think of like airplanes or boats going down or stuff like that. Yeah, I
I
didn't
know
even think
that's
of
why
that.
I'm here.
You play a
I'm
part
better.
sometimes.
I'm just better. Then apparently apparently the raft is made so the Atlanteans can't break in, but Namor can.
Namor can. Yep.
So then Miss Marvel and her crew get sucked through the vents to be used as bait to stop Namor from destroying the raft. What's funny is apparently the whole time is Wanda wants Miss Marvel, which we still don't. I don't know 100% why.
hmm
Um,
We don't.
we
We
don't.
have theories, but
Um,
we don't know for
we do
sure.
have theories. We do have theories. Correct. So anyway, so it's funny because in Baron Zimo's eyes, she was the bait. So it worked, meaning like they were bait. It's like normal. They're getting eaten. Move on. However, she makes the ball of light, gets smashed into the raft, and then now all the Atlanteans are in, and it becomes a bloodbath.
hmm
Bullets don't work on Namor. She then punches him in the mouth, or no, she doesn't punch him in the mouth. He bites her fist. She then covers it in light and then makes a big, and pop goes his head.
Yeah.
We see
Which
Walker get it.
it looked like he was going to break through the light fist as well.
Yes, we did.
Um, so I thought
Which was even
he's
more cool.
powerful enough to overpower her. Um, like you said, which is why she ended up exploding him because she had no choice. But still cool.
Yep. Everyone that wasn't a main character from the MCU was killed. At this point, like anybody that was a part of the group that wasn't part of the MCU was killed here. Okay. Let me refresh my
No, no,
memory.
no. So no,
The
no.
only members that were not.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of who they were. It was Jimmy Woo. It was Death Dealer.
They
Um,
didn't die there. They didn't die there.
they didn't.
No, they died at Asgard, New Asgard.
Oh, right, they did. Okay, no, it
Remember
was
all the Mad
was it?
Max people that didn't have names? All the
Yeah.
Mad Max people
Okay.
that were there got obliterated by the Atlanteans. That's who died.
Nope. Yep, they did.
So it was literally
Um,
only people who were actual MCU characters were left.
John
Because like
Walker died here, though.
at this Survivor, yeah, I'm talking
Uh,
about the people
um,
who remained were only MCU characters.
did Baron Zemo die here, or was he also later? That one I don't remember. No,
He never died.
I swore he
He never
did.
died. How?
I'm I thought he did die. I don't clearly don't remember. I thought I remember seeing him die. I thought he was. I thought
No, he
he
didn't.
was.
I'm
I
looking it
remember
up
it.
because now
I remember him dying at some point. I don't think it was he died here. Um, because I remember him being super arrogant and then just got obliterated by something.
no, no, because he.
Yep.
Oh, it was in
Yep.
Asgard.
It was in Asgard. Yep.
He did go in with Asgard. Anyway, so shockingly enough, they get to the escape pod after Alana um,
Yelena.
sacrifices Yelena sacrifices herself. Then the group goes to New Asgard. They convince, well, technically Khonshu convinces the Valkyrie to let them in.
Because she didn't want. She was having none of everyone else being there.
And
And
Yelena
I thought it was
says,
hilarious that everyone thought that Blade was always talking to his imaginary friend until that moment. They're like, okay, maybe he's not as crazy as we think.
"No, that is true. That is true." Um, and then so we go inside, and they're having this big feast that is taken care of by none other than the Queen of Sokovia. Was that what their phrasing was?
Yes, the Queen of Sokovia, Wanda Maximoff.
No, no, no. They said the Queen of Sokovia, and then that's when Baron Zemo, because now I remember, is like, "There's no Queen of Sokovia. It's Sokovia's gone," and then they go, "But it's of Wanda Maximoff," and then we see her fully human,
Mm-hmm.
which, not gonna lie, threw me off like you would not believe.
It really did. That was like a twist that I was just so confused. I was like, wow, what is going on here?
Yeah, none of this was what I was prepared for. So anyway, we find out that she wanted to work with Miss Marvel to save the world, um, and she was refusing to. And then she waves her hand, and everyone was eating zombie flesh,
Including
even Red Guardian.
Red Guardian, which
Who only had a couple of fingers. He only had a couple of
he
fingers.
only had a couple fingers. But I was so devastated when I saw when that turned, because because I knew that
Honestly,
Red
see, like,
Guardian was feasting.
I was perfectly. I literally was like, "Do not let him kill anybody else." Like, the Red Guardian is not a killer in this way. Like, he doesn't want the survivors to die. Like, that was my first thought. And then he didn't kill anybody, and I was like, "Okay, I feel better."
No, I was so sad. I was like, no, not him, no, and no, I was really devastated.
Honestly, yeah.
And then with
And
him,
then my
the
first thought
process of
was,
him turning was just like really upsetting.
yeah, no, exactly. I also like that Miss Marvel brought the fight back to Thor, which we have to talk about a little bit, because apparently Thor is broken because zombie Thanos obliterated him, Rocket Raccoon, and Groot.
Yeah, he did. Zombie Thanos, like, just
And he d- and he and he destroyed what we assume to have destroyed Stormbreaker as well at that point.
yeah. We never really got a like official answer for that, to be honest.
It didn't help
Because
him he comes back and has it, so that
yeah, and the trailer was a little bit misleading with that situation, which was okay.
oh they definitely did. No, they did a good job of it, to be honest with you. But anyway, so we during that flashback we find out what happened after. And so they go to face zombie Thanos, who doesn't know how to use the Infinity Stones right away, but then begins to learn
He
and
learns,
starts to
yeah.
use it properly. Um, and and it's just Spider-Man, a floating Scott Lang, and Black Panther. That's the heroes we got. Okay.
Hmm.
Now I say it that way because it's just against Thanos. That is not enough.
No, no,
No offense.
definitely not.
So then
I
Thor comes
fully
running
armed
around on
Thanos and
horseback.
fully competent Thanos.
Well, we're going to argue on competent only because of the zombie-ness of it, but definitely started to get there for sure. So then
Yeah.
we had Thor come down with Groot and Rocket Raccoon, who then get blasted away. Thor looks like he's also obliterated, but obviously we see him later just burnt to a crisp on one side. Um,
I mean, I didn't think he was obliterated. Because I knew he
I thought
got
he was dead.
burned. I thought he got killed because he sustained too many injuries. I didn't expect him to have survived.
No, that's what I thought.
Um,
I shouldn't say he was obliterated because he definitely his body survived, but I lost Mike again. There he is. So anyway,
didn't realize you lost me.
yeah, you're just awful today. You got your gosh darn Kmart internet. Um,
Yeah, my internet. We contacted Verizon and they are going to send us an extender and see if that works. Because otherwise, if they're gonna bring a technician to try to quote unquote fix our internet right now, they'll charge us like $200 for whatever they're gonna do. So we're gonna do the extender for now and hope that works.
yeah, so not a sponsor. Anyway, um, so the other thing too is just the fact of we see all that happen, and then Black Panther sacrifices himself to defeat Thanos, which causes a massive explosion of infinite energy, and Spider-Man and Scott Lang were teleported out of there to Kamatage, where we kind of see that the Minotaur is now, we're assuming, is this Sorcerer Supreme.
Because the other two are gone.
They did. So anyway, yeah, so we have all that, and then we then go back to Asgard. They're trying to escape. Wanda stops them. Thor comes, uh, starts beating Wanda down with some heavy lightning, and tells them to go, and they just zoom out of there.
Yep.
Thor
Yep.
gets defeated. Um, Also, we tell
Spoilers.
Miss Marvel that she is the new Avenger.
Yep.
Oh, he did. He did. But
Um,
no, he's not
yeah,
dead
no,
yet,
I thought
but
I
he's
liked
dead.
that. There's
So
a
then,
difference.
so then there is a in this world there is a difference. So then the biggest reveal of them all was the Nova Corps was there the whole time.
Yep. Because the entire time, we never really talked about this, is that the group was trying to get a communication device into space to contact the Nova Corps because they would be able to save them. They never cared about saving them. They just wanted to make sure that Earth was doomed and didn't infect anybody else. Um, that was a
Right.
twist.
Yeah.
I
No,
when so like when we figured out that they were trying to contact the Nova Corps, my initial thought was that they were going to, if they contacted the Nova Corps, they were going to either block off Earth or just try to obliterate it. I didn't expect them to already be there to quarantine it. So like I said, that was a slight twist that uh, was shocking.
Yeah, I don't think they destroy planets. I don't think that's part of their code. But obviously they would quarantine it. So my whole thing was they did a great job of it. They shot down the ship. They get
Hmm.
blasted. Kamala makes a big light bubble, and then that breaks on impact of the atmosphere. And then they get bibbity bobbity booped out of there. But one of the best one-liners was in this part where when they're falling, Valkyrie literally goes, "I hope this is considered dying in battle."
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was honestly the best one-liner ever, in my opinion, because it was legitimately just like, I hope so.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that one was
Um,
funny.
so then they get teleported to Kamatage. Then we find out that when the Infinity Stones were destroyed, a wave of infinity energy was destroying the entire planet, and that's when Hulk slash Banner combined together to absorb the infinity energy to create the new anchor being that would protect the planet or destroy the planet. And Wanda wants it. And apparently, all she has to do is touch him, which confuses me. Because why did she need this big army if all she had to do was touch him?
She couldn't get to him, apparently,
But like,
which
she
makes
has the
no
ability to
sense.
do it. Exactly my point. But whatever. There had to have been more to it than just that. But anyway,
The only thing I could think of is that, like, if her
Banner
army
would
isn't big
weaken.
enough, yeah, he couldn't be. The army would weaken him, so that way she could get to him without him fighting back or running
Because I have a
away.
feeling he might have had enough. He might have had enough power to actually cause her damage.
Um, I think the only thing I was a little disappointed in this situation
Sequence.
was just because of how Hulk seemed like he was supposed to be now with the power of the Infinity. He's supposed to me, he was supposed to be even more powerful, but yet he still seemed weaker. So I don't know if you thought differently or understood it differently. Just to me, it felt weird. Because in the What
No,
If
I felt
episode, he could easily hold his own against the Wanda and the other zombies, but in this, he kind of couldn't really handle his own, which having infinite power kind of makes it a little confusing for
so.
me.
Here's my issue. Right, the idea or the assumption is that these zombies are stronger because of Wanda.
Hmm.
Okay, although he has the power and everything else, he is limited to exactly what he can do. Because he can't expel too much energy, or else it could destroy the planet. So he's got a handicap, right?
That's fair.
So although he is strong enough to technically wipe them all out, the only way he could do so with certainty would also be that the planet go boom.
Hmm. Yep.
And
Okay.
weirdly enough, he doesn't want that to happen. This was also the closest thing we got to a World Breaker Hulk, but this World Breaker Hulk was in control of himself,
Yeah.
which I don't have a problem with because it wasn't radiation. It was technically cosmic energy, which is also a whole nother thing. Anyway,
Yep. No, that's fair.
um, I don't think it. I don't think it was as weird because I don't think they could have killed him. The idea was to weaken him enough to then be able to just get close enough to touch him, where she'll begin to absorb the power enough that he can't kill her. That was
Yeah.
kind of what I thought.
Or fight
Um,
back. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. And the idea was there was such a large army, and there was a reason why she went for Asgardians specifically,
Because they're at least strong enough to be able to
and
fight
their
him.
technology.
Yeah.
And their technology would be enough to cause damage to the Hulk,
Hmm.
roughly. But also notice too, he took out Abomination in one punch. So
Yeah,
like,
he
so
did.
by definition, he is significantly stronger. So like, the idea is that the abomination of it all was to show how much stronger he was, and then everything else was to show that even with all that great strength, he still could be weakened
Hmm.
because his power isn't rage anymore.
Yeah. No, that I understood. No, that part I did understand.
Um, and then when we had the new Avengers come and they start just obliterating zombies left and right. And then we had the saddest montage of events. Okay,
Just
where
everyone losing.
Wanda's like, I'm done, and we have um who gets obliterated? Like all of the two sorcerers that wasn't the Minotaur get blasted by red lightning.
Hmm.
Hulk versus zombie Thor, who eventually wins. Hulk wins, I mean, but barely. Then we had Miss Marvel pushing away the Black Widow family, right?
Yep.
We then had Cat and Shang-Chi fighting the ripped up corpses of Agent Wu and Deathbringer, Deathmaker,
Death dealer.
Death Dealer, neither one. Um, and we're fighting their flying pieces of corpse. And then Okoye versus Valkyrie, and Okoye wins.
Hmm. Um,
Then we had Blade kill Hank Pym and um, Jane Van Dam. No, Jane Van Dyne. Van Dyne.
I think it's
Anyway,
Van
his
Dyne,
wife.
his
Oh,
wife, Jane.
yeah. And then Hope comes and eats Spider-Man, and then Shang-Chi
In the
gets bitten
process,
multiple times. Yep. In the process, you're right. Cat is the only one
Cat.
that nothing technically happens to
Yeah,
her.
Cat seems to have survived. We don't like see the end
Well, I'll say
result.
it this way: she's not. She wasn't bitten. There was nothing that was automatically, other than being surrounded by an army of dead people. She was fine.
Yeah, yep. The Minotaur ended up getting
Blade,
eaten when Wanda and touches
he
Thor.
gets impaled first,
Or yeah,
and then impaled.
Wanda touches
And no,
Hulk,
she
not Thor.
touches the
My
Hulk.
apologies. Yeah,
And then we got to talk about Thor obliterating Blade to literally nothing.
yep. The lightning strike that destroyed him. Like that one was another very shocking death. Did not see that coming.
I didn't think he was gonna win, but I didn't think that's how he would go. I'll say that.
Yeah. No, 100%. Um, and
But I guess
then
because lightning turns into fire or makes fire, he then was easily killed because he's vampire.
yeah, that's fair. Fire and light,
Granted, he's
those
half.
two combinations.
I mean, well, he can walk in the day, so the light itself doesn't, because he's a hybrid, so he's
Mm.
not fully a vampire. So he's got some of the weaknesses, but all of the strengths. Like he can walk outside, but he needs blood. But like I think a spike, like a cross and everything else, could still cause him damage. I believe. If I'm
Although
not
he
wrong.
said in
I
this
may.
episode, although
I
he
got.
said in this series that he no longer drinks blood.
That is also because he's the Avatar.
That's yeah, because of Khonshu.
That is the only reason.
Um, and
Which is
then
funny because one of the full moons is called the blood moon, which I find to be funny.
that's yeah.
But you get my point. Like that's the reason why I'm laughing. And then we have Kamala trying to beat Wanda, who is now fully human? Question mark. And then she joins forces with Wanda or touches her, and then we get bibbity bobbity boop to regular reality, and she's having a good time with Kate Bishop and Riri Williams until they're having boba in the streets, and then she just starts seeing flashes of zombies, and Riri, oh, well, who we're assuming is real Riri, I don't know, blasting zombies saying, "Don't fall for it."
it's all a lie. It's all a lie.
And then it ends with the most terrifying jump scare of the show.
Just a face.
Just
Yeah, no,
Wanda,
that was
hair everywhere, just bah! And I was like, "You win."
yep. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it was like, um, very good. There better be a season 2 because I want to know what happens.
There has to be. They cannot end it like that. They have to have a season 2 after this.
No,
I
they
know
have to.
anything can
And
happen.
honestly,
Never say
I just hope
never.
they do just
But
to piss you off. I just, I just hope they do just to piss you off.
it's going to piss you off too. So I don't know why you want me to suffer, because you're going to suffer just as much.
I know, but if I don't think about it, I'll be fine. And you know me, I don't think.
No, no, you won't.
Yep, you're gonna keep bringing it up every second.
I will, because I'm going to be like, remember how you wanted this?
Now, every Halloween you'll bring it up, just being like, "Oh, we could have had another season of Marvel Zombies," but Scott is okay with it. So yeah, so let us move on to your character spotlight. Since
Before
you
we move on to
mentioned
the
it,
character spotlight, I do want to mention one thing that we forgot about Peacemaker. We had a cameo, a very important cameo, and it was
oh,
Lex
Lex
Luthor.
Luthor.
Yep. I thought of
You
it
know,
because I was pulling up
who I
my.
thought that was gonna be? You know who I really thought it was going to be? All joking aside, I thought it was gonna somehow be Keith, not dead.
Oh, that would have been wild. That would have been a
Well, that's what
twist.
that would have been that was my thought, and then all of a sudden I was like, and then it happened. I went, oh, that makes more sense.
Yep. And then, they talked about him having the portals and how he could work with the government to get in their quote unquote good graces. And they were going to transfer him to out of Bell Reeve and move him to Van. What's the prison? Van Cole Maximum Security, which is also in Metropolis. But I just
Well,
wanted
no,
to
it is in
say,
Metropolis because not every.
yeah, Van Cole is in Metropolis. Yeah. But I just thought it was cool, the difference of Lex Luthor. I like it, the actor Nicholas Holt, I think is his name. He does a great job with this personality, like just going from the Superman actor or his scenes in Superman to this. Like it gave very different feels. And apparently this was recorded during Superman. So I thought that was also cool. This was quote unquote technically the first scene of Peacemaker season 2, or first recordings of Peacemaker season 2.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Something
Um,
just came up about all the Watcher cameos that have popped up.
yeah, there was a
They're
few
all members of
apparently.
Marvel Zombies.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I see people talking about it after. I thought that was cool.
He was also in Eyes of Wakanda.
That I thought we did realize that. I
We already
thought there
talked
was.
about. He was
Yeah,
in he was in the Spider-Man the Spider-Man animated one. I
that.
do
Yep.
remember that.
Yep.
He was supposedly in X-Men '97, which that
That
one's
one I don't.
throwing me off a little
That
bit.
one I don't remember.
What they're showing me is like it's a discoloration in the sky. I'm not getting Watcher.
Hmm.
And then they're trying to tell me that he was also in Fantastic Four, which I don't know.
I
That
think
one's
that
not
one's a
as.
little bit. Yeah, that one seems like a little bit of a stretch. But
But
speaking of,
but hear me out. No, but hear me out on this. Why they're thinking he was there? Because Fantastic Four is another alternate universe. It is not the main
yep.
MCU.
No, that one. No, I understand them want why they would say he's there. I just couldn't really picture a spot where he would be in it. Um, but speaking of X-Men 97, I also heard that the creators of it are hoping to make one episode or one season every year. They're hoping to keep it coming out.
From what I've
Um,
heard, this is going to be the darkest season and a lot of death. And I said, I literally saw that and I said, how can you kill more people? There's not that many left.
how can you keep
So
it
I'll
going
say
like
that.
the way you did after that last season?
There's only so many people that left there to die. So anyway, to your character spotlight, Mike.
Yep, to my official character spotlight. So um so I wanted to talk about the Eagle Hunter. I figured he is a original character for the DCU. Um but he is based off of two characters from the DC comics. He is based off of Otto and Adam Orion. Otto Orion was introduced in Adventure Comics back in 1967, and Adam Orion was introduced in a Superboy comic back in 1973.
Wait, who is it? Who's a combination of two characters?
The Eagle Hunter. What's his name?
Oh, my apologies. My apologies. That's what threw me off. I'm sorry. I did not know anything
Red
about
Saint
that.
Wild.
I got you now. That's his
So
name?
Red Saint Hunter, yeah, or Red Saint Wild. Yep, that's his name.
I didn't realize that. Continue. Sorry.
I apologize. Where the page refreshed, so there we go. Okay, so in Peacemaker, as we know, Red Saint Wild is a eagle hunter and only hunts eagles, and he is very skilled at it. In the comics, he is, as I said, he is based off of Adam and sorry, Otto Orion. They are in general hunters, and those characters are actually based off of the Marvel characters, or not based off of, but similar character to Kraven the Hunter, where they hunt for prize and glory. Um, they are from a planet known as Simbali. Um, they are themselves just a class of hunters that are unmatched from other hunters in this universe, and they, like I said, they hunt for pride and glory. Um, Adam is his story is based off of the Legions of Superheroes, uh, like I said, which came from the 70s. He is hunting after the Legion of Superheroes because he blames them for his father Otto Orion's death, which came from, like I said, the Legion of Superheroes. These two families just constantly, their main feud was with the Legion of Superheroes. Eventually, it led to Otto's death, and now Adam is taking the mantle and looking for revenge. He is a hunter, like I said, from another planet, which means his strength and intellect it's not superhuman, but it is better than a regular human because of the alien blood that he has. Now, unlike Kraven, he doesn't have any special powers. He's, like I said, he's just slightly above a human. And in all honesty, these guys are very, very, very minor characters. Aside from their run in the 60s and 70s in those small stories, they actually haven't been seen in.
That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. They haven't been seen outside of those things. So the fact that now James Gunn decided to reintroduce them, quote unquote, as a new character and give them a little bit more light. Granted, not that much, but still, I thought that was cool. I didn't know anything about him, and I just was very curious about him, and I wanted to know what he was based off of, especially because in the last character spotlight I did, Captain Triumph was technically a reworked character, so I figured that was the case over here, and I was correct.
Mhm.
It, like I said, this week is just a very it was a very short it's a very short spotlight. I just wanted to touch on where this character got its roots. Um
Fair enough.
and obviously we won't be seeing more of him, but maybe, who knows, we might get like a backstory of him hunting other eagles, but we'll see, you know.
We'll have to wait and see. But for now, that's going to be it for tonight. Next week, we're going to be doing the latest episode of Gen V, the latest episode of Peacemaker, and any trailers that come out with a character spotlight from me. So if you made it this far into the video, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Scott and Mike signing out of the Black Hill Podcast. Have a wonderful night. Bye bye.